Everyone at the PLSA is here to embrace new ideas, new perspectives on the vast range of issues we deal with, new connections to share them with. This association has a strong heritage and a strong tradition of facing the future.
Celebrating a centenary representing the pensions industry, the PLSA has been a consensus-building constant in an ever-shifting savings landscape.
But when you look at the industry with 22,000 DC schemes and 5,500 DB schemes, actually you need to bring the industry together, because that strong voice is something that actually does get recognition, does get us in the door, and allows us to clearly articulate the messages that our members want to hear.
A collaborative approach which was key this summer as the government's Mansion House reforms looked for the industry's input on how the hundreds of millions of pounds in UK pension pots could be put to work in the UK economy.
I see no conflict whatsoever between unleashing productive capital into some of the fastest growing and scaling parts of our economy and delivering benefits to beneficiaries. Both in terms of the certainty that we can provide them of a good income in retirement, but also the opportunity for growth and performance along the way.
We and our member pension funds are clear that all pension fund money should be invested in the interests of savers and the members of the scheme. That said, there's no reason why it might not also be used to achieve other objectives, and certainly there are a lot of politicians and some of our members who believe that too. And there are two main areas at the moment. The first being green investments, achieving net zero, helping with the green transition. And secondly, UK growth. And in fact, these two things might be linked, because working on the UK's green transition and supporting UK growth, investment in new technologies, could well all be part of the same story.
With outcomes at the heart of what the industry does, the pensions regulator believes that consolidation will be key.
At the moment, we have a very fragmented pensions landscape with a lot of small schemes that we know through our work don't deliver value for savers. We also know that many don't have appropriate data management and administration. And it's really important to focus on what is the best outcome for retirement savers in the UK. And I firmly believe that having fewer, larger, really well-run schemes with appropriate expertise and capacity will deliver better outcomes for savers. And the reason for that is that they'll be able to invest in a diverse range of assets, whether it's private or public assets, and have the expertise to manage those and to deliver those long-term outcomes that we need for each pension saver in the UK.
While some discussed consolidation and deployment of capital, others focused on unlocking digital.
So often, the technology moves so fast that when we talk about it, especially in a business context, we tend to focus on the surface changes to the business. We say this is going to change our marketing, this is going to change our recruiting, this is going to change our ops, but in doing so, we accidentally overlook the deep impact that these technologies are going to have on our society and on our behaviors, on our culture.
It's taking the information of a very complex system and just making it more accessible, more understandable, more trackable. I think if you have these algorithms that are like looking at different databases and finding connections, they might say, hey, like we've noticed that something's not right here. And they could potentially catch mistakes that if left unfound might only be noticed like years down the line, and then we're talking about people's life savings here.
And there was also an emphasis on how communication with younger savers should be evolving.
Do you have sufficient presence at the digital campfires where they hang out? And I'm not just talking here about having a presence on Instagram or TikTok, although they do spend almost an hour a day there at the moment, but I'm also talking about the metaverse.
Co-create your offerings with younger people. If you build it, they will come. If they build it, they will stay.
It is in the deep global trends that humanity's collective course unfolds. Astonishing gains in longevity and maternal health, or changes in population, or reductions in child mortality, or amazing, terrifying advances in technology, or collapses in the populations of a particular species, or indeed whole ecosystems. That, to me, is news.
And whilst the very latest global perspectives and leading industry insights were on offer, in its 100th year, the PLSA's purpose remains the same.
I look at what we were doing 100 years ago, I look at what we're doing today, what we might be doing in 100 years' time, and really it is trying to help everyone get a better income in retirement.